Hola, estoy en la casita。咁大家好啦，而家又係喺呢個 Airbnb 啦 ，so right now in the Airbnb。fui al cine hoy，咁我今日去咗睇戲啦，咁 so I went to the cinema today。vi la película se llama Oppenheimer。咁我就睇咗呢一出咧叫做 Oppenheimer 嘅戲啦，好似係譯做奧寶海默咁咁上下，唔知佢譯咩啦。咁咧so I watched this film called Oppenheimer。咁係講關於呢一個嘅原子彈之父嘅故仔啦，咁樣。Se trata la historia de Oppenheimer, el que era el líder del equipo, el que desarrolló, inventó。la bomba atómica。咁我諗香港應該都係有，我見到有宣傳嘅咁樣啦。咁但係點解要喺呢度睇咧？因為呢一個 Oppenheimer 其實咧就係喺新墨西哥州呢一個地方。咁我而家喺 Corrales 啦，咁佢就係一個叫 Los Alamos 嘅地方 ，which is 係好近下嘅咁樣咧，就係喺嗰度進行呢一個嘅原子彈嘅實驗嘅咁。So I watch it because like this is my last day here in New Mexico, and I feel that like I just have to watch his story in New Mexico, where he set up this village and to test this bomb here. Entonces bueno, es que ahora estoy en Nuevo México y estoy en el sitio en el que Oppenheimer y su equipo, ¿cómo se dice?comprobó o aprobó la bomba en este estado. Es como experimentó, ¿sí? Experimentó para que vea si funcionó o no, y como cuento la destrucción. Bueno, es una película muy buena, es magnífico y te lo recomiendo。咁我絕對推薦大家要去睇啦，超級勁啦！我覺得Nolan 呢個導演真係呢一出戲真係拍得超級好。So I think that really really worth it, and I highly recommend you to watch it. Yeah, and I'm like so interested to read the book now. 咁我而家就超想睇，即係超想睇本書啦，超想睇呢個人嘅其他歷史啦。咁y ahora estoy muy interesante todo lo que sobre este hombre, es que es una historia muy interesante y también muy importante, y provocó tu pensamiento sobre el tema de guerra, claro que sí, y paz y armas y todo lo que sobre solamente como el poder, ¿qué significa es un líder? ¿sí? 我覺得有好多嘢諗啦，即係so it's just like provoke you to think about a lot of things about power, leader, like what does it mean to be a leader, and of course war and peace and weapon and that sort of thing, right? 咁當然即係戰爭與和平啊，即係武器係咩嘢啊？點樣為之即係公正啊，或者點樣叫公義啊，或者點樣先叫做係一個人啦，即係點為之一個領袖啦，即係好多呢啲好多呢啲嘢去諗啦，咁樣樣。Sin embargo, es como pensaba mucho durante la película que como Oppenheimer es como ¿cómo se dice? Lo que más grande, más es como un ejemplo del gobierno. Siempre se usa la gente y después dejarlo. No sé si me entiendes. 我覺得我睇嘅時候，我睇到我覺得佢簡直係世界歷史上最大嘅 condom 咯。呢個係我嘅思考嘅其中一個部分啦。咁 so one of my thoughts was that like it's a very Hong Kong way to say it, like you know like I feel that he is like the biggest condom in world history, like because this is a way that we say things, just like you know when you're somebody being used, you know, like, and then afterwards people just dump you, and then so like it's kind of like a condom, you only use it for one time, like so yeah, so that's how I felt actually when I was watching it. And yeah, but I'm going to read the book. Pero voy a leer el libro. Es que sí, me interesa mucho. 咁係我要揾本書嚟睇啦，我覺得超有趣。好啦，vamos a leer，咁我哋就讀書啦。Read to Resist, Day 442。當閱讀也是抗爭第442日。A Concise History of Hong Kong by John Carroll。香港簡史從殖民地到特別行政區，著者高馬可，譯者林立偉。Despite their differing attitudes toward McLehose, those two veterans of Hong Kong's political scene help us understand why corruption was such a problem in Hong Kong, and why controlling it ultimately became such a test of the government's credibility. Colonial officials often blamed the prevalence of corruption on the Chinese community, insisting that corruption was so deeply ingrained in Chinese culture that it could never be curbed, let alone eradicated, and that the British themselves were largely untainted. But the number of expatriates later convicted of corruption once the government finally tried to tackle the problem proves that there was nothing particularly Chinese about corruption. For two, the root of the evil lay in the lack of representation in the legislature, which created many opportunities for corruption and malpractice in the civil service. Similarly, Goodstad blames the problem on the uneasy partnership between the colonial government and the local British and Chinese business elite, which created an environment in which the dishonest and the venal found it easy to flourish in both the public and private sectors. 儘管這兩位香港政壇老將對麥理浩的看法不一，但他們幫助我們了解到為什麼貪污在香港成為如此嚴重的問題，以及為何肅貪倡廉最終成為對政府公信力的考驗。殖民地官員經常把貪污橫行歸咎於華人，堅稱貪污是中國文化根深蒂固的陋習，永不可能遏止，更遑論根除。而英國人則大多潔身自愛，白璧無瑕。但是，亦政府最終決心處理問題後，因貪污被定罪的外籍人數目之多，證明貪污腐敗並非華人專利。杜葉錫恩來說，罪惡的根源在於立法機構缺乏代表性，從而在公務員團隊中產生了許多貪污受賄和私營舞弊的機會。顧宇德同樣把問題歸咎於殖民地政府和本地英資及華資商界精英之間的官商同謀，指它形成了一種令營私舞弊和貪贓枉法的行為能在公營部門和私營機構滋生的環境。Entonces, esta es la lectura hoy. Se trata como la corrupción funcionaron en esta época. Y el problema basaba en como el problema de no había representación del chino y también de la sociedad civil en como la parliamentary, la legislative council, no sé cómo se dice en español, Sí, entonces también hay impunidad, es como un problema siempre relacionada con corrupciones。咁係啦，咁呢度提到即係譬如即係因為缺乏代表即係呢個問題，即係同埋其實即係有提到即係裡面有好多呢啲咁嘅走後門啊，又或者係即係其實就係私相授受嘅嘢啦咁樣樣。咁係唔係真係即係華人嘅即係陋習咧？咁我諗即係文化上事實上亞洲人咧係比較冇呢一種嘅概念，即係其實佢未必從真係貪污開始嘅，即係純粹大家就係有一種嘅即係社區鄰里之間嗰種，即係幫手啊，即係識人啊，即係 networking 嘅嘢啦。咁但係當然即係慢慢就發展，即係越嚟越大嘅時候就發展成為貪污啦，即係咁樣樣。I think corruption in itself, of course, is not kind of like only confined to Chinese. Like that was just the story that the British would like to tell themselves, right? Because they want to be the superior, like and they would think that like these are bad behavior and should be only like we can just push this to the inferior class as like such as Chinese. But I think it's also really in the culture, I would say, in Asia, I think it's not really like an intention to be corrupt in the beginning. It was just kind of like our way of doing things, just like networking, like, oh, I know somebody who knows somebody, so let's ask him to help, and then like we can give him some kind of lacy, like red packet, like just to thank them, so it's just this kind of like it's almost kind of like a good thing turned into a bad thing. It's just like the way of like saying thanks to people or asking people to help, and then of course when it turns into like a higher level and with when it's relation when it's something about like power and wealth, bigger wealth, then it turns into corruption. I just think like it's more like from a cultural point of view. For me, it's like that. Para mí es como la cultura también es no es como nos gusta la corrupción, sin embargo es solo es que es como la manera de la vida, la manera de cuando me ayudaste, ¿cómo se dice? Le doy mi y como te agradezco con dinero, con algo materiales y en nuestra sociedad como antigua es muy común. Sin embargo, cuando es como un gobierno y como relacionada con el poder, con mucho más como nivel alta, se convirtieron a corrupciones. No sé si puede entenderme, sí. Pero bueno，咁我哋今日就係咁樣啦。咁其實咧都已經夜啦，咁我差唔多執晒行李㗎啦，聽日就會離開呢度啦。So I'm going to leave here tomorrow, and then so I have no idea about like the time difference or whatever, but I'll probably try to read before I board the plane, then it would like for sure that I wouldn't miss a day. Bueno, voy a salir del país de Estados Unidos mañana y intento leer antes de salir para que no pierdo como un episodio. Es que hay como se dice, la diferencia del tiempo es para mí es muy confundida 因為我成日咧都計唔到啲即係時差咁樣嘅。Bueno, nos vemos mañana。咁我哋聽日見啦，拜拜 ，Ciao，see you again tomorrow。